Hi everyone and welcome back to the Python short video series. Today we're exploring a very powerful feature in Python, modules and libraries. By the end of this video, you'll know how to import modules and use built-in ones, create your own modules, work with the math module, and explore other useful Python libraries like random and datetime. Let's dive right in. Before we start importing and using modules, let's quickly clear up a common confusion. What's the difference between a module and a library in Python? A module is basically one single Python line. It might contain functions, classes, or variables you can reuse in your code. For example, math.py is a module. When we do import math, we're importing just that one file with all its ready-made functions. On the other hand, a library is a collection of modules, like a full toolkit instead of just one tool. Libraries often solve bigger, more complex problems. For instance, NumPy is a library. It contains many modules for numerical computations, matrices, and more. In this video, we'll start with modules and later we'll look at some popular libraries that make Python even more powerful. Let's start by seeing how to actually use a module in Python. If you want to use ready-made functions like mathematical operations, we simply import the module at the top of our code. For example, import math. That's it. Now all the tools in the math module are available for us to use. Once it's important, we can call its function by writing math dot, followed by the function name. For instance, math dot square root 16 will give us the square root of 16. Sometimes we don't want to use the entire module, just one or two functions. In that case, we can use from math import square root instead of importing the whole module. Now we can use square root 16 without using math dot every time. And if you want a shortcut name, like many people do for big libraries, you can rename it while importing, like import math as m, and then call m dot square root of 16. Now modules aren't just the ones Python gives us. We can create our own too, and it's super simple. Let's say we make a file called myModule, and inside it we write a greeting function. That is the whole module for now. Now in a different file, we can import it just like we did with the math module. Import myModule. Now I'll use the greeting function inside the module. Print. And that's it. You just created and used your own module. Alright, now that we can import modules and even create our own, let's see what we can do with some built-in ones. The math module is one of Python's built-in libraries with many mathematical tools. Square root 25 gives the square root of 25. Factorial 5 calculates 5 factorial, 5 times, 4 times, 3 times, 2 times 1. Math.py gives you the value of pi, useful in geometry or physics problems. Instead of writing long formulas yourself, these built-in functions save you time and effort. Next, let's make things more fun with some handy libraries. Python has many built-in libraries for everyday tasks. Two very common ones are random and datetime. The random library helps when you read randomness, like choosing a random winner or creating a simple game. An example might be random.rounded 1 through 10 gives a random number between 1 and 10. 10 is excluded, but 1 is included. The datetime library helps you work with dates and times. Example might be datetime.date.today tells you today's date. These libraries handle complicated things for you so you can focus on building your project instead of reinventing the wheel. Okay, now let's put what we learned into a mini practice. Okay, it's time for a quick mini practice. Here's your challenge. First, generate 5 random numbers between 1 and 100. Then calculate the square root of each of those numbers. Finally, print both the original numbers and their square root side by side. Pause the video if you need some time to try this on your own. Think about the tools we just covered: generating numbers, doing calculations, and printing results. When you're ready, let's check out my version. Alright, let's go through the solution step by step so you can see exactly what's happening. First, we import both random and math at the top so we can use their functions. Then we use a list comparison with randed to quickly create a list of 5 random numbers. Each time the code runs, it gives us different numbers. Next, we use another list comparison with square root to calculate the square root of each random number. The result becomes a new list. Finally, we print the original numbers and their square roots so we can see them side by side. So, what did we learn here? Random handled all the randomness for us. Math gave us powerful mathematical tools like square roots. And by combining them, we created a program in just a few lines that would have been much harder to write on our own. This is the real power of using modules in Python. And that's a wrap for today's video on modules and libraries in Python. We explore how to use built-in modules, create our own modules, and work with powerful tools like math, random, and data. You saw how combining modules can help us build useful programs quickly and efficiently. In the next video, we'll tackle something every programmer needs to know: error handling in Python. We'll learn how to handle mistakes in our code gracefully so our programs don't crash unexpectedly. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you found this helpful, give it a like and share it with others learning Python. See you in the next one.